Hello all and welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you taking the time to tune in. This is going to be the second episode of my regular sci-fi and fantasy TV news videos. This one is for May the 24th, 2025. And real quickly, for those who may not have watched earlier or the earlier episode at this point, the feedback I got was that doing these probably about every 2 weeks would be a good timeline for everybody, just to catch up on things that have been announced in the previous couple of weeks for any of the sci-fi and fantasy shows, and to give folks a chance to be kept up to speed on what's happening, and a little bit look ahead what shows are coming with premieres and such, and maybe a couple of quick thoughts on some shows I'm watching without going into spoilers. But again, appreciate you taking the time to check these out. If you're enjoying this content, by all means, please like and subscribe to the channel. Would appreciate it. Both of those help greatly for getting the channel exposed to other viewers. So thank you very much for that. And do drop a comment on any of these news items, things maybe you're looking forward to, or any of your thoughts, related there. That's what makes this a lot of fun. And for those who have been commenting on the t-shirts that I wear in my videos, yes, as some of you know, if you've been aware of my previous podcasting and convention stuff, I do have a lot of genre t-shirts, and I do try to wear different ones here on the videos. This one is for a podcast that I did called Buffy Earpers, where we were watching Buffy and drawing some comparisons to Winona Earp. So this one is an awesome shirt design. Fan created for me. We've got Buffy there with Peacemaker and Winona with Mr. Pointy, just to show them both a little out of their element. So hope you're enjoying some of those there as well. All right, let's start talking about some news items that we've had in the last couple of weeks and get a chance to chat a little bit about them. Starting off here, we've got the good news that the TV show Fallout has been renewed for a season 3. Now, this is ahead of season 2 even beginning to air yet. If you're not aware, this is based on a video game series. And I'm not played the games myself, but I watched season 1 and really enjoyed it. Very well done. I believe it's been nominated for several Emmys, and quite enjoyable there. Now, along with this news of the season 3 renewal announcement, it was also great that we heard that season 2 is going to premiere in December of this year. Didn't give us an exact date yet, but at least we know the month, and gives us a chance to look forward to it. And certainly for me, probably plan a Fallout rewatch come the fall, and get a chance to enjoy it. So it was great to see that season 2 is not that far away, and season 3 is definitely coming, because this is quite an enjoyable show. So that was great to see there. Our second news item, and if you've been subscribed to the channel, you know this is a screenshot of the thumbnail of the video that I did a few days ago about the Wheel of Time cancellation. That was quite disappointing for me and for many folks, but not all, certainly based on the comments that were on that video, and I have heard from other folks. Some were not big fans of the show if they were big fans of the books. But for those of us who are doing show only, quite an enjoyable show. So it's very disappointing to hear that it will not be coming back for a season 4. As with any of the news items that I list here in these news videos, I do put down in the description links to any of the videos I'm referencing or any of the news articles and so forth. So if you want to follow up or go deeper on some of this stuff, feel free to do so. So, yep, just disappointed it won't be coming back. Again, this was a very expensive show to make. Amazon Prime also is doing The Lord of the Rings, which they paid a lot of money to get to. So, again, it comes down to finances, because apparently the viewership on the show in season 3 dropped off quite a bit. But quality it didn't, because season 3 was just top-notch stuff. Highly recommend it. And if you haven't seen this show at all, I would recommend watching the 3 seasons. You won't get left on a really bad cliffhanger or anything, but it is quite enjoyable. Very strong performances. By all means, highly recommended. Another show, unfortunately, that we heard official news that we're losing this week is The Bondsman. Another show on Amazon Prime. Kind of a theme so far. This show with Kevin Bacon, if you're scratching your head because you don't remember it, you're not alone. This show kind of came out of nowhere, at least for me, someone who's paying attention to news about genre shows. I only found out like a couple of days before this was going to be airing back in early April. They didn't do a lot of promotion on it. At least if they did, I certainly missed it, and so did some others based on some conversations I've had. But they did drop season 1. This show is very much got a vibe like the show Supernatural, and an interesting ensemble cast around the Kevin Bacon character. But unfortunately, Amazon announced it will not be coming back for a season 2. So would I recommend it? Probably. Kind of would depend, as with a lot of shows, when it comes to recommending them to folks in terms of the kind of shows you enjoy. There's a bit of a, I wouldn't say cliffhanger, but a bit of a story quandary at the end of season 1, trying to lead into season 2. But the season is still enjoyable. It's fun to see Kevin Bacon in there. Like I said, it's a good ensemble cast. The story is interesting. It's not great. It's not top-notch stuff, but it's entertaining. So it's certainly something to many folks that I would recommend checking out, if that's the kind of stuff you do enjoy. All right. Also, very big news this week, or now probably going back a little more than a week, with the announcement here, as you can see from what's on screen, of the Buffy reboot and casting our new Slayer to be leading that show. And this was huge news. I mean, we've been hearing a little bit about this for a while now, with Sarah Michelle Gellar being involved. It certainly seemed like it was going to happen, because there have been discussions about Buffy reboots or whatever, reimaginings for years and years. But link in the show notes there, as you can see over at Deadline. Also in that article is a wonderful link to a video. I think it's over on Sarah Michelle Gellar's Instagram page, where she broke the news to Ryan Kiera Armstrong that she had gotten the role. If you're not familiar with her name, she was in the recent Star Wars series Skeleton Crew, and she was good in that. So, got high hopes for where this show might be able to go. Some interesting stuff. We don't have a lot of other detail yet. It's, they're going to be doing a pilot, as it says here in the article title, for Hulu. Hopefully it's much more than just a pilot and actually gets a series order, but that's where it's at technically at this point. But obviously if they've cast a lead, that is wonderful to see. So this was exciting. Really, it made it very tangible for me that this is going to happen, at least the pilot, like I said. So great to see. And like I said, just a very heartwarming video. If you follow that link, or if you look on some of the other articles that have been shared on this and haven't seen it yet, very heartwarming to see that discussion in terms of her finding out she had the role, and her dad was there too, and he's an actor. So cool stuff. All right, next up, we've got some news about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We finally got an official premiere date for season 3. It's going to get a preview in June, but the show itself will be returning in July, around the middle of July. So it was good that we finally got a specific date. This is a show I greatly enjoy. This one has really been one of my faves over the last couple of years, especially. They do a great job, honoring the original series, and I do like the fact that for the most part these are, different topics each week rather than a big story arc like a lot of other shows that we enjoy do, which is great. This one is a little more, or tends to be a little more, one-off, while still having some threads worn through. But this one, a lot of fun. I'm so excited that we actually know we've got a date in July. Like I say, I think it's around the middle of the month. I don't have my fingertips the exact date, but if you follow the link in the show notes, it'll let you know. So now I got to get myself geared up here and start doing a rewatch for season 2 to get ready. So good stuff. All right, with more, what I've been calling in some of my different social media posts and other podcasts, the summer of sci-fi, because we got a lot of shows coming this summer, which is good, more than I think we've had for quite a while. We heard that Alien Earth, as you can see coming from FX, this is the one set in the Alien universe, premiere date is going to be August the 12th. And they're going to drop 2 episodes that very first day. And I think it's going to be a total of 8 episodes, and they'll be dropping them weekly. So that'll last us, into September sometime. It's been interesting. If you follow the link in the show notes, you'll see some photos of some of the characters. They have also been dropping teaser trailers, but nothing yet with the cast. It's mainly like from an alien creature's POV and a little bit from the ship and stuff. So it's been a bit of a, slow burn, as some of these networks and streamers will do with shows, but I'm looking forward to getting a full trailer, as I call it, where we can see some of the cast and some of the stuff that's going on. We don't have it yet, but, hopefully fairly soon. But hey, being set in the Alien universe, I know it's something I'm going to want to check out. So looking forward to that. Also, we had the news that Daredevil Reborn Season 2 has got, as you can see up on screen, some great announcement of some casting. It's going to be awesome to have Krysten Ritter back as Jessica Jones appearing in that season. We don't know yet how many episodes, what the storyline will be or anything like that, but certainly it's great to see her and that character coming back. The Netflix series, I certainly enjoyed it, especially the early seasons. The last season wasn't my favorite, but the first couple of seasons there, I thought she did a great job in the role, and it was certainly very engaging and interesting. So having her back with Daredevil, I think will be a great pairing to see where it might go. All right, also link in the show notes to a fun video for Wednesday. I think in the last news video that I did, we mentioned that we had our premiere dates and a trailer. They also put out this sneak peek, official sneak peek video. It's about 3 minutes long. It's some behind the scenes stuff a little bit, looking at some of the folks, as they're shooting on set and so forth. Some great stuff on some of the new characters we're going to get to see. Some fun stuff from returning folks from season 1. So really, this is the kind of trailer that I get a nice ear-to-ear grin. Really reminds me how much I'm looking forward to the show. And the fact that they've got some new stuff coming for us this season should be very cool. Fun stuff. Can't wait to see it. All right, and our final news item we've got, for those of you that are fans of the Game of Thrones universe, if you will, that because they've been working on a couple different spin-offs, as you're probably aware if you're a big fan. And the one, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, they have announced that its premiere has been moved to 2026. It initially, from some of the press stuff, was going to be 2025, but now they're saying early in 2026. So if you want to follow the link, that'll be down below in the description, then you'll get a chance to see a little bit more, or hear a little bit more, I should say, about that plan from, I think, some of the upfronts where they were talking about this. But at least they've narrowed down the timeline. Doesn't mean it can't shift again, but hey, usually that's for the good reason of making sure the show is what it needs to be, quality-wise, and making sure it works. All right, a couple other quick notes for you folks. Upcoming premieres and returns I want to make sure to remind you of, that if you weren't or haven't been planning them, just this weekend, we have the Librarians, the next chapter, premiering with a double episode this weekend, a Sunday and then a Monday, and then the show will regularly be on Monday nights. I'm very much looking forward to the show. High hopes. I loved the Librarian series. Such a great cast. That was a lot of fun. Don't want to get my hopes too high because it's a whole new set of characters, but from some of the videos and things that have been put out, looking pretty good. I mean, Dean Devlin usually does a good job with his shows. So looking forward to this one. So by the time you're seeing this video, those first two should be available to you. As I said, TNT, so hopefully they're on demand or however you might be able to get your hands on them if you weren't aware. And also coming up on June the 6th, we have the premiere of the new season of Resident Alien coming on Sci-Fi and also this season on USA. So you got your choice of where to watch it there. And related to that, finally, to finish off, again, no spoilers, but I got the opportunity to see the first episode of the new season for Resident Alien, thanks to the awesome folks at Sci-Fi to get screeners. And it's an opening fun, without being spoilery. As if you're a fan, they left us with a curveball at the end of last season, so we pick right up from there with what's going on. And while I thought maybe the first half of this episode was a little sluggish with the humor side, there was definitely some there. By the second half of the episode, there was some definitely laugh out loud moments, and good to see our crew of folks back there. And the other thing too, and there's a separate video up on this, I also got a chance to see the premiere episode from the new show Revival, which is coming to Sci-Fi in mid-June. And the separate video is up and available. I'll put the link down below in the description if you didn't watch my spoiler-free reactions to that, because as with these screeners, you can't share spoilers until the episodes do actually air. But some spoiler-free thoughts. If you don't want to go and watch that video real quick, I'm very much looking forward to the show and probably covering it here on the channel with maybe weekly reviews or recaps after the episodes drop. All right, so that should catch us up for what's been happening, sci-fi TV and fantasy TV there. As I mentioned, please, if you're still watching at this point, share your thoughts. Let me know, is this format working, this approach, the timeline of every couple of weeks? Very much love to hear what my community thinks and see what is working for you folks to try to make this work. But always appreciate it and any comments there. All right, I hope you all take care.